Hey everyone, Taha here again with Agar Aura, and I'm here with a very special guest, my dear friend Raaid. And I have known him for a while, and he has been one of the first, you could say, the graduates of Agar Aura Oud. And it's just a delight. He flew in a couple days, yesterday actually, and flying out tomorrow, and it's just been such an honor to have him over, and I'm really touched that he flew all this way just to meet me.
No, thank you. I honestly feel so bowled over, but by what I experienced. It's because you detect so many things, but in a kind of abstract way when you're smelling the oils and you're smelling the woods. But then here, it's actualized. But this has been one of the most extraordinary olfactory experiences.
So glad to hear that. Yeah. And I actually managed to get Indian raw materials.
Yeah.
So the batch I'm running right now, it's as you know, it's Mokokchung. It's a very specific subcategory within India. So within India you got Nagaland, which is generally you could say it's the prettiest of the Indian foods. But within Nagaland you have this very unusual, unique subcategory. And Ryan, why don't you show our friends just what this looks like?
Yeah, have a look. This is the top
So that's
notes,
the top
yeah.
notes, yeah.
And here we have the heart. I hope you can see that clearly. So when I came, I walked in yesterday, having heard in so many YouTube videos the sound of water falling into a pool near the Agar Aura username. And then I walked in and I saw it there and I saw the setup, and that was a beautiful moment. And then Taha very kindly let me pull the top fraction. So that was an amazing experience. And then today I got to do the heart as well. Yeah.
So, and of course earlier today we sat down and we actually heated the wood.
Yeah.
Because I wanted you to see just why this oil smells the way it does. Mm-hmm. Because I remember when you first smelled the oil, you just said blue.
Yeah.
You just uttered blue.
Yeah.
And of course, then we tried to figure out what it was. And for some reason, I thought blueberries. I always had this idea of blueberries. And in fact, you were the one who pointed out it's actually
Blue Lotus for me.
And very specific.
Yeah.
Jack Chapman has a very beautiful Blue Lotus. I don't know if he still has it in stock, but he used to have this Blue Lotus essential oil. So not an absolute, but an essential oil. And it has this beautiful smell. And it's captured so perfectly in the top notes.
Yeah.
Now it's absent, of course, in the heart notes. Yes. But again, this has to do with when you're heating the wood. How does the scent progress? That's that same thing I want to capture in the oil. Basically, the scent evolution within the heating experience, capturing exactly that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just want to say as a caveat, when I already knew it was Indian when I took the top notes. But when I said blue, I actually asked it as a question. That I couldn't believe that it can't possibly be blue because I know it's Indian. So how could it be blue? And then later, when we were heating the wood, this was just utterly clear. There is a blue note.
And that was only today.
That was today, yeah.
The blue was yesterday. You only smelled the oil, and you were like, how is this possible? How is this Indian?
Yeah.
Right? Like, is this just a clever Taha, crazy technique or something? Or so how would you describe the wood then?
The wood, it has blue. I mean, and the thing is, the most extraordinary thing is when you smell the wood, you can smell to a certain extent layers in the wood as well. Yeah. And because you said to me blueberries, and then when we were smelling the wood, you said, you see that top. That's why I say blueberries. And then I said to me, I see exactly what you mean because it's blue and then berries.
Correct. Yeah.
And then now having seen the top notes and the heart notes
separately,
they are completely separate. As in the blue notes are in the top, and then the heart notes are more classic Indian.
Exactly.
And there's also a thread running through, both of them and through the wood, which is this. I don't know if altitudinous is a word, but this kind of coldness that you can smell in the mountain air if you ever go up, high altitude, which is present definitely in the top, and then there's something which trickles down to the heart as well, and that's the connection you can make, and you know it's one. You know.
So, Mountain Oud, I have always insisted it has its own unique subcategory. And today with Indian, you found out what that is.
Yeah. And the wood was extraordinary for that, because
right?
I mean, really beautiful wood, and something you just never would expect in a million years from India. Yeah.
Well, this is Mokokchung, right?
If I had just smelled the blue back in London or Colombo, I would have thought, I would have thought postmodern, new age, something like that. You know, that's the kind of, because blue is so unusual, and it's so, you don't
Especially
associate it. Yeah. But now it's so obviously there in the wood, and I've seen it, and you can see the distinction in fractions as well. So,
yeah. When we were heating the wood, it goes through a certain scent evolution.
Yeah, that's right.
And there are certain things which I can't share publicly online, but you got to see certain things which I do, and none of them are unorthodox. Like every single thing, there's a very specific purpose behind it, and it's it's classical distillation. It's just that because I do the pulls separately, I want to isolate the top and the and the heart and the base, and for each of them, I want to design the distillation specifically for that fraction. Is it just because I'm trying to be different? No. You smelled the wood, you smelled the progression. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be the messenger who expresses that in the form of an oil.
Actually, this is something I'd like to touch on, because distillation has this aura of mystery around it. I think sort of, when you're reading about it, because all you smell is the result, and you don't know what the process exactly looks like. And I also thought maybe this is some mad scientist thing, and then he's suddenly going aha, and then doing this. But actually, it was just a lot of small tweaks, a lot of small natural adjustments. And then, because you explained the process to me, and then you would ask me as well, do you think this is going to happen?
I was almost nudging. I was trying to make you think, like, why did I just make this mini adjustment? Why did I do this and that?
Because there's a natural causality that you can follow in it.
Absolutely.
So there's nothing sort of absurd, or there's nothing out of the blue.
And what about the Filipino?
There's that's the other thing when going through the very, very high quality woods, that Black Chiara and the Filipino, there is another level which you cannot, it's intangible in a way. It's just this sense, this aura of ancientness or epicness. With the Chiara it was more epic. With the Filipino it was more ancient. And that's a kind of flavor that you just, you can just hold your hands up and you really say, that does not.
And then when you smell the oil.
The oil.
Did it smell like fancy acrobatics? Or was it like a true to life depiction? I mean, you can see now, because now you've seen what I've been doing with the Indian distillation. Can you now kind of understand how I would have done that with the Filipino as well?
I can imagine.
Progression and so on as well.
That's I can clearly see that.
In fact, I just remembered you smelled the two as well, the Filipino two. Why don't you go grab that little piece? Let's show people what the second Filipino oil was cooked from.
This is the one.
So I saved the little one, and we've been just having fun with this and burning it and so on.
And the other thing I feel that I took away from this a lot was. Last night we were talking about, all right, what is the real purpose behind doing this? Like at a certain point, we're just sitting here, having experienced these very, very profound treasures. You have something here which is so precious, which is so moving, and I think that is the thing that makes us all lovers of oud. Is that only oud has this to a degree that very, very few, if none, no other aromatic substances have. And then you said, I just want to be the messenger.
Correct, that's how I phrase it. I think it's just profound enough where I don't want to meddle. I don't want to one-up what nature already offered. So essentially, the only thing where I actually put in an effort is just two things, I would say. Number one is flying around like a madman, trying to find batches which are actually special. There is something worth distilling. So I mean, that's my first job is trying to chase these really amazing raw materials, and really that's the thing that matters the most. And then number two is me trying to, like everyone will have a certain signature, but I like to think that my signature is the invisible hand. The real question here is, did I do a good job? Well, that's up to the person.
Well, I mean, I think that's where it goes back to, was the wood incredible? And then did you leave no signature? Because if the wood was incredible and you left no signature, then the oil is incredible.
By itself,
by itself.
Nature,
and that's that was the most beautiful thing about it, is that you have this, you already have the preciousness. What you're doing is you're not stepping in the way, and I think, smelling your oils in combination with all the oils that are available on the market, you can't help but go away. There's a certain, you get a certain feeling from your oils, but then I think that feeling is the feeling of no hand. As you said, so leaving the signature is a lack of a signature. In a sense.
And when the oil is released, when it's sold, you're going to be smelling everything together. You are the only person who actually got to smell it separately, and you can see, the heart. This is reminding me of something like 2 minutes into the heating the wood, or the blue lotus. This is right when we first put the wood chip on the heater. So, do you think now that having smelled the different fractions, are you able to discern and be, or are you able to, I guess, grasp or realize that it is in fact, all of these different layers, all of them are there, but admittedly, the top notes, for example, they are quite intense.
They're intense and very different.
Very different. But wasn't the wood like that as well?
Exactly.
Initially, you were
really
shocked.
was.
How is this Indian wood? It's unbelievable. But that's just the nature of the raw material. So, Raaid, you're one of the few people who's actually witnessed an Agar Aura distillation in person while it's running. You've gotten to smell an oil, multiple fractions of the same oil. You got to smell the wood. You got to witness what it is I do, this choreography. You got to see what that actually entails. Is this something you would recommend to others as well, to come and witness it in person?
Yeah, I think that there's an element of, there are so many things that you would not ever even imagine being a part of the process. Also, you probably would imagine too much being part of the process as well. That's the other side, because actually a lot of it was just practical, common sense tinkering. But the tinkering comes from long experience and sort of intimate knowledge of the raw materials and the whole process. But every step you explained to me, and it made perfect sense. There was nothing too extraordinary.
All traditional principles of distillation, actually. It's basically just utilizing them to basically capture the most accurate sense of the raw material as possible. And that's essentially what I do. So once again, I'm just trying to be a faithful messenger.
And maybe if other people could join as well, because it is very different to be here and to see the process.
You can now finally see how that all actually comes into play in real life. So, special message to Phil.
Phil, shout out to Phil.
He has to come out, right?
Phil has really no excuse. What are you doing? But anybody really who
you've witnessed the distillation, you now can make sense of everything that I've been going on and on about. Now finally it clicks.
Except that magic sorcerer spell that you put over it, that I didn't understand.
That wasn't me, that was the wood. All right, well guys, I guess that's all for now. Again, my dear friend Raaid, it's been an honor, it's been a delight. Thank you so much.
Thank
you guys for watching as well. Until next time.